What's up, y'all? Welcome to Knockers Down the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill. Jay Miller, if you like. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to take a look at the Saints defense versus the Cowboys offense. So I think this is where the Cowboys will be able to make a little bit of hay. Now, even though I know Cleveland had all the hype going into week one about how awesome their defense is and Myles Garrett and things like that, and, the Saints don't have a Myles Garrett per se, but they do have some very tough players. Starting with Cam Jordan, I know he's been doing it a long time, and when there's a person, playing this well for this long, it tends to fly under the radar. We tend to want to say, okay, he's going to be getting older now, so he should be slowing down. Until I see Cam Jordan slow down, I'm not going to think that guy's going to slow down. He is going to give Tyler Guyton trouble. So is Chase Young. They're going to line those two guys up, multiple times over Tyler Guyton or over Terrence Steele to see, what they can do. And I expect both of those to be a challenge. Now, it's going to be a different challenge than it was with Myles Garrett, right? Myles Garrett's like a unit. He's a big dude. He has a lot of power, a lot of tools in his tool belt, but Cam Jordan's a big dude and has a lot of power and has a lot of tools in his tool belt. I'm not saying Cam Jordan is Myles Garrett, but what I'm saying is just because he isn't the defensive player of the year candidate doesn't mean that he's not capable of giving Tyler Guyton fits. He is definitely capable. So I do expect to see the Cowboys use a similar game plan, get tight ends out there, get them the chip, move the pocket a little bit. And Chase Young is going to be a little bit more athletic. So, he's not the starter, but he's going to be rotating in there, quite a bit. Carl Grandison is the starter. He's also a very good player as well. But I do expect Terrence Steele to win his matchup on that side more often than not. But I do expect the Saints to try to hunt different matchups. Like if it were me and I'm the Saints, I'm probably going to put Chase Young on Tyler Guyton or Carl Granderson on Tyler Guyton. And I'll probably throw Cam Jordan over on Terrence Steele. Just being that he plays a little more power, he can actually walk Steele back into Dak Prescott's lap. If it was me, I would attack Steele with power, and I would attack the younger guy with some more athleticism and some more speed and see if he can handle that. Demario Davis is another player that is just, always on his game. He's one of those guys, as Brian Broadish likes to say, shout out to Brian Broadish, he'll make every tackle, right? He'll make every tackle if you don't block him. So he is one of those guys that the Cowboys need to account for, on most plays just to make sure he doesn't, if we're trying to run the ball and establish the run and we're not getting Demario Davis secure, and this is going to fall a lot on Cooper Beebe, getting up to the second level after securing the initial block on Saunders, who is, a defensive tackle. He was playing with the Kansas City Chiefs. That guy has some good size to him. And John Ridgway is actually on their roster too. So whatever guy that is, our interior needs to be really good, whether it's Smith, whether it's Beebe, whether it's Zach Martin at securing that guy. And then once the running back is to and through the hole, getting to the second level and touching some of those linebackers up to give our guys a chance to turn some of those runs into bigger runs. I saw last week a lot of times Ezekiel Elliott, he played well, gave him his flowers, but he doesn't have that speed to get through there. They only gave Deuce Vaughn one carry, so we didn't get to see much there. And also, Rico Dowdle was kind of running to darkness a lot. He wasn't, giving his blockers rewards for, pushing the hole for him. There was a couple of times where he actually had a nice hole, and all he had to do was make a cut one way, and he cut the other way. It's sort of the same thing we saw with Tony Pollard last year. I do think once Rico Dowdle, settles down a little bit, because I know this year, the focus is on him getting a much bigger role in the offense, so he's probably really hyped up for week one. So it'd be nice, go through the film room, show him where, hey, if you would have cut here, how this play was designed, you might have gotten 7 or 8 yards instead of 2 or 3 yards. So just correcting some of those things during the week. I think Rico will play much better. I call him Fast Money Rico for a reason. So I think we'll see a lot of Fast Money Rico this week because I do think in the trenches is where the Cowboys are going to need to make their money. They're not on the outside, not the outside runs. It's going to be the middle three. It's going to be Guyton, I'm sorry, not Guyton. It's going to be Smith, Beebe, Martin against Saunders and Shepard, and then when they rotate in John Ridgway, Christian Boyd, Brian Barisi, whoever it is, they're going to need to make sure that they are winning that battle in the middle and then securing Willie Gay and Demario Davis. Willie Gay, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, Demario Davis, he's just been great for the Saints. So that's going to be where the Cowboys need to make their hay when it comes to the running game. Now, the passing game, you have some issues here. Tyrann Mathieu, always a good player. Marshawn Lattimore, always a good player. He actually is dealing with an injury. Don't know if that's going to affect him as far as missing the game. Same thing with Mathieu. I don't think he's going to miss any time either. Then they have the draft pick Kool-Aid McKinstry. They have Will Harris, and then as their and as their strong safety, and then their slot guy is Taylor. So Taylor is actually a good player. Marshawn Lattimore is a really good player. Debo's a pretty good player. So the Saints actually boast. I'm not going to say that their secondary is equal to the Cleveland Browns, but this is not a slouch secondary. I want people to understand that just because we're not going against the Cleveland Browns defense this week does not mean we're not going against a very good defense. We are going against a very good defense. And they do have playmakers at all three levels. Tyrann Mathieu has always had a nose for the ball. Marshawn Lattimore has been one of the better quarters in the league since he came into the league. Will Harris is a good, strong safety. He can play inside the box, make some good tackles, but he also has good awareness and coverage. So you're going to want to make sure that you're not just sleeping on the names of these guys because you might not know them. Now, with that being said, the way I see the Saints trying to match it up, I actually think the Saints will probably play their guys pretty much exclusively to their sides. Maybe Marshawn Lattimore runs around with CeeDee Lamb a little bit more, but if he's got that bad leg, I don't know if they're necessarily going to want to do that for a whole bunch of snaps. So I don't think he'll be following CeeDee Lamb wherever he lines up. I don't think he's going to travel with him, which gives you a chance to move CeeDee Lamb around as a chess piece and use that to kind of dictate what the offense wants to do. And then a lot of times you can use that to set up Brandon Cooks as well. So, your line is CD up in the slot, then you got Brandon Cooks on the outside of him, and then you have a rotation on the other outside just to see who ends up, winning out there until we get to the point where somebody is consistently playing and use that to play. Now, with no Jake Ferguson this week, we're looking for Luke Schoonmaker. I do think Luke Schoonmaker, this is a game where if Jake Ferguson was healthy, this would be the Jake Ferguson game to me because he has a very good matchup. Mathieu is a very good safety, but I wouldn't want him covering Jake Ferguson, and I don't think they want him covering either. I don't think their linebackers could cover him, so we're going to miss that this week. That's actually going to put a little bit of a damper on the offense. This is going to be one of those weeks where it's like, hey, Luke Schoonmaker, we need you to step up. Hey, Brevin Spanford, we need you to provide some good blocking in the game and kind of try to combine those two together to equal a Jake Ferguson. Maybe they call up one of the practice squad tight ends. John Stevens Jr. is still dealing with his injury, so I don't think he'll be active this week. So you might have to go with Fant as your other tight end, or maybe you take Hunter Lipke and line it up some more in that H-back offline tight end role and throw him the ball a little bit. But Hunter Lipke, even though he's a really good player, he's not quite the mismatch that Jake Ferguson would be in this game. Now, the jury's still out. We don't know if Jake Ferguson is 100% out, but he is dealing with that injury, and the Cowboys, since it's early in the season, might choose the road of caution over the road of, hey, we're going to treat this like it's a playoff game or a Week 16 game where we have to win to get the division. If it was one of those scenarios, I think Jake Ferguson would be playing. Week 2 at home against the Saints, I think they actually kind of play it safe. So I think the way your Cowboys are going to have to attack this team is actually I would come out and I would be very physical with the Saints. I would be completely different than I was last week against the Browns. So the last week against the Browns, the Cowboys kind of followed the game plan that we had talked about during the week, or that I had talked about during the week, which was move the pocket around, give the Browns some eye candy. Don't necessarily be stationary. Throw the ball quickly to set up the run and, kind of work that. And then as the game goes on, you'll be able to open it up a little more. Now, the Cowboys, as the game went on, they did not open it up more. They actually went more into a shell and became a very isolated, very predictable offense. We can't do that this week. But this week, I would still give, it's the NFL, so you still need to give teams eye candy, right? You still need to motion. You still need to run short screen passes and then come back with runs off of the same action just so that you don't keep the defense able to tee off based off the formation they see. You don't want to just line up and give them exactly what they see. But with that being said, I would actually run to set up the pass this week. I would actually come out, not saying you have to run every time on first down, not saying that it has to be a 50-50 split, not at all. If we're winning the game late in the game, it does need to be a 50-50 split because at that point the Cowboys should be running as much as possible. But early on in the game, just keep them off balance with when you run. But when you run, inside, between the tackles, between the guards, rely on your Cooper Beebe, rely on your Zach Martin. I know it sounds like a broken record right now. Good. I want it to sound like a broken record to the Saints. I want the Saints to get so tired of seeing those three boys come right up the middle and seeing Hunter Lipke lead blocking and seeing whoever in the whatever rotation of running backs we want, whether it's Ezekiel Elliott, and then it's Fast Money Rico, and then it's Deuce Vaughn, and then Hunter Lipke gets a carry or two out of single back, but just get so tired of seeing the big boys come up the middle, because then I think when you want to play action and run CD over the middle, or you want to run some of those deep overs with Brandon Cooks, these are great actions that you can run off because those safeties are going to come up. If you're beating them up the middle, then trust me, that strong safety is going to creep up. Even that free safety is going to creep up. Those guys are going to creep up to help run support. So once you come with that play action pass, and it's the NFL, we're not saying they're going to get beat so bad, but all it takes is a half a step. All it takes is a split second of hesitation to let Brandon Cooks get behind you, and now it's a big play. So that's my way that I see the Cowboys having success against the Saints defense. Tomorrow I'll talk more about, bold predictions for the game and who I think the standout players will be and, what I think will happen. And then also, give my prediction on who will win, who will lose. So tune in for that. But thank you for coming. This is J Mill. J Mill, if you like. If you want, you could follow me on social media on Twitter/X. at JMillerIYL. That's J Miller if you like. You can also submit some questions there. I'll answer them there. If you have anything specific you want me to cover, you can also put that in the comments below. If you want to hit me up an email, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. I'll take questions there. I'll take them via Twitter. I'll take them from the comments. I'll make it a mailbag segment, make it a regular thing, answer anything. If there's something you want me to cover, like I said, you can put that in the comments below. Thank you guys for coming here. I'm up to 18 subscribers. I'm trying to make it to 20 now. Baby steps. You guys have been here from day one supporting me. Thank you. I love you for that. So like if you like the video, subscribe so you know when I'm coming in. But until next time, I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.